Welcome to Real Estate Radio Live, an informative and engaging podcast discussing everything you need to know about the world of real estate. Your host, Joe Kuchera, provides you with insight and guidance on how to buy, sell, finance, and invest in real estate. He also offers real estate tax management strategies, new construction advice, home improvement tips, and much, much more. And now, to guide you around the world of real estate, here's your host and Real Estate Radio Live team leader, Joe Kuchera.
Welcome in, Joe Kuchera with Real Estate Radio Live. Thank you so much for those that are following us on the live feed of Facebook. We appreciate that very much. We're going to continue to grow the audience, and we're going to do that any way we can. So love to have the people that follow us on Facebook, the live feed, for our consistency to provide to you. We try to keep this consistent by doing the show 3 days a week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, right around 3 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. So we'll continue to do that. But what we'd love to have you do is download the podcast, because not everybody could obviously watch the show. We do this for the additional viewing for people as well and to grow the audience and the exposure. But we'd love to have you download the podcast. So you could do that a couple different ways. You could go to iTunes, type in Real Estate Radio Live. You could go to our website, RERL-1541-Tim, and you see the podcast right there. You could download it from the website as well. Again, focus of the show has been for almost 8 years, education and information. So we provide great guests like today. I'll introduce my guest in just a minute. Content information for the purpose to provide you, the consumer, with as much education and information as we can to arm you in real estate. So buying, selling, financing, decorating, construction, just about every facet. So this month, we really started at the end of July, I guess, and then we're going to continue in August. This month, we're having as many executives and owners for the real estate firms in the Bay Area, and the focus is really the future of the real estate industry. So we're going to invite them in. Hopefully, we'll have a couple more during the month of August to be tuned in for those. And if you happen to miss this podcast, again, the best way to do is just go to the website at reradiolive.com. All right, let me invite my guest in, Tim Proschold. He's the Vice President of Group Strategy and Success with the Sereno Group. Good to have you in, Tim.
Good to be here.
Great to be here. Just ironically, it was kind of funny. Last week, or was it 2 weeks ago, we were playing in a golf tournament and got paired together, and I'm saying, yeah, I got a great guest coming on for the Sereno Group, and Tim goes, you know, Joe, I think that's me.
Yep, that's right. Yeah, some of our leadership is taking some vacations right now, and with family. Our CEO's off in Europe with his daughter, who's starting law school
I
this
saw
year.
that.
So
very good.
Just taking that opportunity to spend time with family, and so that's what they're up to.
That's
so
good
you
stuff.
Get me today.
Well, I'm glad, and thank you, Tim, for showing up. And so what we want to do, again, is provide the consumers as much information as we can, what's going on in the industry. Tim is certainly the best person to represent Sereno Group for that. But also we have a big following for the real estate industry. So a lot of people that watch the show and follow the show that work in the real estate industry too. So they're going to get double value here today. So why don't we get started, Tim, if you could give the listening audience a little of your background and then your current roles and responsibilities with the Sereno Group.
Okay. Tim Proschold, VP of Group Strategy and Success for Sereno Group. I kind of have a dual role with the organization. I guide the strategy of the company, tools that we offer to our agents, marketing strategy, those types of things. But I also work directly with the agents, kind of in a one-on-one basis, working with business planning and making sure that they're doing the things that they need to do out there to serve their clients well out in the industry. So I actually started in the industry in 2004. I was a realtor. Before that, I'm actually a licensed civil engineer and have a structural engineering background. So real estate, people come from all different walks of life into this business. And so I started in the industry in 2004, worked with a high-producing team. We were selling about $30 to $35 million in real estate a year. Kind of transitioned into this leadership role because it was just something that I was interested in doing. And so I was a manager of our Los Altos office for a couple years, and then I moved into the VP role in 2015.
Very
so
good.
Ever since.
Great. Yeah, and you mentioned something I think is critical I want to make note of real quick is, so you coach on a regular basis and work with people on their business planning. The reason why I want to just touch on that real quick, because I'm not sure, is that rare in the industry? I haven't heard a lot of people say, I mean, I know you guys do a really good job. You try to hire the right people, but even more importantly, once you get them in the door, it's imperative that stay with them, coach them. What's their goals? What's their plans for the year? So you'll help guide them, establish them, and kind of keep the milestones along the way?
Yeah, so we do that through a couple different ways. One, meeting in person directly with them, but a lot of our office meetings that we have every couple weeks are really focused on these types of activities and writing things down. I mean, that's, a lot of us in this industry, simple, it's easy to just kind of, talk to people and kind of do the business in that way, but actually sitting down and doing a fundamental strategy of how I'm going to be reaching out to my clients throughout the year, how I'm going to be doing this business as a business is super important. Every business needs a business plan.
Yeah, very good. Well said. Well, let's talk a little bit about the industry in general, maybe give you kind of an overview of the Silicon Valley. How are things going? I know we were just talking, the market's changed a little bit for the last several years. The sellers were kings and queens. They could sit there and the bids would line up, the offers. And so give us kind of an overview of the market today, some of the adjustments it might have made, and how you see maybe the rest of the year finishing up.
Yeah, so inventory right now at this point in time of year is quite a bit higher than it was this last time, same time last year. And last year was an anomaly, though. Last year, the inventory in the Santa Clara County market at least peaked in about April or May, and then declined from that point in time. Usually it peaks around August, September after we get kind of a little bit of a summer push of inventory. And so I think we're in that kind of normal seasonal market right now. We are starting to see inventory kind of possibly roll over right now, where we may see kind of decreasing into the end of the year. And what that means is that I think prices are going to be stable. I think people that purchased maybe in April or May have paid a premium on their homes, but they also got homes that I think were better quality. Yeah. Because you sometimes have better quality inventory coming on during the peak selling seasons, and then we're coming into another one here in September. So really what happens in September is going to really kind of line us up for what's happening into 2019, I think.
Very good.
We got to see.
Yeah, good point. So give us kind of an idea, your company and the industry in general. What are some of the challenges you guys are, as you look as a senior group and you guys meet and talk about this, what are some of the challenges in not only with your company but the industry in general that you see at this point?
So the world's changing.
Yeah,
technology,
every day,
is a huge focus for interacting with clients, and so our firm, we prided ourselves on hiring experienced agents only. And we got to the point in the last probably 2 or 3 years that we realized that we can't just hire experienced agents kind of in the market, because we have this kind of gap from the bust where people didn't enter into real estate. Yeah. And so we kind of lost a lot of people kind of in that range, and we're starting to bring on some new agents within our company, but following that with like a true kind of 6-month boot camp training program, making sure that they have the people in place and the training to kind of go out there and serve their clients well, instead of just some other brokerages, they have a lot of people kind of coming into the industry. They have regular trainings that are offered, but I don't know if they have the direct one-on-one focus that we're providing out there.
So you'll actually make an effort to hire new people and train them from square one, so they may not know anything about real estate, but in many different ways, if you have the patience and the platform, that is a good way to go as a segment of your business, don't you think? Because you could train them, the culture right away, right out of the gate, and do what's right for them.
Yeah, definitely. And then also when we're hiring people that maybe they're not experienced in real estate, but they're experienced in technology, they're experienced in other avenues, professional careers and things like that, and they want to kind of transition into the business of real estate, mainly because you have that opportunity to build your own business. Yeah. And you have entrepreneurs, that were working for larger companies, just weren't getting exactly what they wanted at the end of the day.
Very good. As a leadership position, you and Chris and the group meet, Ryan, on a regular basis, I'm sure. Strategy, that's one of the part of your title and some of the success of the company. What types of things, as you guys talk about today, Tim, are you talking about these are some of the things we have to either implement, look at, make adjustments to, as Sereno Group? Do you guys have plans? Are you making changes within technology, systems, processes, the way I know you guys just opened a new office in Los Altos. Yes, tell us a little bit about maybe the strategies of the Sereno Group.
So one of the things that we've, determined with a lot of the new business models and stuff that are coming in, the Zillows, just kind of for advertising purposes, is that our agents are not doing a good enough job staying in touch with their clients. Yeah. That's what's allowing these other business models to kind of come up, because using technology, they can be in the face of our existing client base on a more regular basis than we are. And, when they don't remember who we are 6 years down the line when they go to sell, or 8 years, or now it's 13 years in some cases. That's a problem for us. And because our agents that are experienced and have been in the business and that know the real estate in this area are not necessarily the biggest marketers out there, that's a problem. And so we're coaching them to try and get them, engaged in these processes. And as a brokerage, we're actually taking a lot of this, on ourselves as well, to kind of help them and guide them with this process with one-on-one support, and with kind of taking as much as we can to the brokerage level on that support level. So, we'll see how this kind of plays out. It's, we have the younger agents that are using CRMs, they're using all the technology, they're using all that kind of good stuff, social media. And we have an agent that was a 30 under 30 with California Association of Realtors. And she's doing exceptionally well in the industry, and that she came through our training program as well. And so we have those success stories with our younger agents, and we're just trying to keep everybody kind of moving in the right direction as a company. I think with the new office opening, it's kind of weird. Everyone thinks that you don't need quality office space, to attract agents because everybody's working remotely. But this business is isolating a little bit. You're out there, you're running your own business, you've got your family, you've got that kind of stuff. It's really easy to kind of hole yourself up. And I think having that camaraderie and having a space where people can come and connect and, just feel positive about the environment is super important for our industry, because as all the sales trainers and stuff out there, it's positivity, it's mindset that we have to kind of build out there to go out there and do the things that we do. Because it's a tough business. People don't know what realtors do. No,
and we'll talk a little bit about that too. And I want to touch on what you said a minute ago when I asked you that question. Is I did a show Tuesday specifically. Well, it was about buyers, but the second part of the show was Zillow got into the mortgage business. So what? And that was my comment. So I did a show, and kind of the same noted that all of us in our industry, real estate and mortgage and financing, if we're continually the focus to add as much value that we can to our clients and our business partners, there's nothing we could do about what Zillow does. Amazon could get in the business, anybody. But that's beyond our control. So what we have to do, in my belief, is just continue to pour value, knowledge, and education into our clients, our business partners, how we operate. And it is a business that is unlike most other businesses, and I know it's easy for everybody just to throw the word technology out, but this is a very relational business. It still is. And maybe 20 years from now or whatever, maybe there'll be robots running around doing it. Who knows? But for the meantime,
hopefully not.
And it's not just our opinion. I mean, I research this stuff every day. I know you do too, and I live and breathe this stuff. And it's upwards of, the last I checked, almost 90% of people, when they decide to buy or sell a home, they still want to use a qualified realtor. So it's not just what we think. It's not just what a lot of people that think they could put technology on everything. I'll be the first one to say that technology is outstanding. We can't get away from it here in Silicon Valley, and I think you always want to use it to improve processes, systems, save time, be more cost-effective with it. But, it doesn't solve everything.
Yeah, so one of the I was up at Inman Conference up in San Francisco a few weeks ago, and one of the speakers there had a very good anecdote, and she said, we need to spend more time with people, and we need to use technology to allow us to spend more time with people. And I think that's the most important thing with these relationships in this area. And there are people that want a discount, and that's the only thing that's important to them. And there's Nordstrom, and there's Kohl's. I mean, so you have different business models that can flourish in this industry, and I think the market's actually, getting bigger, in terms of sales volume, and we're going to be at the highest probably sales volume we've had, in the last 9 years or so here. So it's okay to have these different business models, and you just really need to focus in on what you do, what value you offer, and making sure that you're communicating that in the right ways to your client base. Very good. Let's talk a little bit about technology. Speaking of that, one of the things I want to ask you about, and I've asked a lot of the other executives too, is explain, if you will, to not only the consumer but the industry that's watching the show too and listening to the podcast later. And that is, when we talk about, or when you talk about technology, there's really, there's technology on the back end that assists the agents, obviously, that guides them and gives them a better chance to stay connected with the clients, right? So I think what the client, sometimes the confusion is, like a consumer might hear someone say, we've just launched this great technology platform, and maybe the consumer is thinking, well, I'm not understanding because everything's kind of the same. So maybe tell us a little bit about what Sereno does on the back end with technology as an offer to your agents
to make them really a better offer and a better way to communicate with clients?
Yeah, so we've invested in some technology platforms, one of them being a company called MoxieWorks that we partnered up with. Really, the reason why we partnered up with them is visual presentations or digital presentations for comparative market analyses.
Okay.
So getting that information out to our clients. So a lot of our agents are using that every quarter or every half of the year to say, hey, here's all the information about the homes that have sold in your area. You can click through, find out all the details about them. And if you're interested in kind of refinancing or talking to us about potentially selling, making a move up, then please do. So it's a way to kind of communicate information in a more effective way than dropping off a big old stack of paper at the end of the day. So, Sereno Group, one of the things that we're committed to is a more sustainable real estate practice. So we don't want to be chopping down trees and just dropping off all these paper mailers and stuff out there. So that's a big thing. CRMs are big, and CRMs are tough. Right?
They are tough.
The best CRM is the one that you use. And so we've tried to kind of provide one that we think agents will use, but, adoption in the real estate industry of technology is low.
Yep.
I can pay for a service for all of our members, and, some services will have 90% adoption, like our listing alert system has probably 90% adoption from our agents because it's forwarding, property information to their clients. And so it's something that's very big for them and what they do. But then some of the other CRM tools for the follow-up type things, we have about 20 to 30% adoption, let's say.
Okay.
Some of our consumers, maybe, they do like that because they're not getting as many emails or those types of things from their agent. But at the same time, they're not also getting some of the valuable information that our agents are sending out. And so we've also tried to streamline some social media technology and let our agents know how to use that in a much more effective way for getting their listing information out. So for sellers, knowing that they have an agent that can push their property out into social media, and we can advertise into New York and Manhattan. We can advertise in these places without much additional major cost of newspaper spends and things like that. And I think it's a benefit to our sellers that our agents actually are being trained and know how to do those types of things. And if they don't know how to do them, they know they have the resources and one-on-one hands-on training to be able to kind of help guide them through that process. So, we're doing a lot of those things, really on the benefit of the client and the seller to make sure we push their property out to the world and make sure they get the most exposure.
All right. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to take a quick break for a podcast here. So those that are watching us streaming live on Facebook, stick with us. We're not going away. We're going to take a 1-minute break, and I'll be back in just a few minutes. I'm with Tim Proschold. He's the Vice President with the Sereno Group. We're talking about the future of the real estate industry. I'll be back with you in just a minute.
For more information on today's program, visit RERadiolive.com. That's RERadiolive.com.
How would you like the opportunity to secure a record low interest rate while buying and or selling your home? In addition, how would you like to save 20% or more on your entire real estate transaction? Finally, how would you like to bundle all your real estate services in one location? Well, now you can achieve this with BundleSelect.com. That's right, save on real estate lending and title. With BundleSelect.com, technology and a personal concierge are at your service to save you time and money. BundleSelect's hand-picked team of experts will save you thousands of dollars by bundling real estate lending and title services. BundleSelect.com gives you all the control, including using your own realtor. I'm Joe Kuchera with Real Estate Radio Live, and I have been on the radio educating consumers for years. I'm here to tell you BundleSelect.com is the best way to save money on real estate. By bundling services, you could save tens of thousands of dollars. Visit BundleSelect.com.
The estimated minimum savings are based on a comparison with the national average. Individual results may vary, and the estimated savings are not guaranteed. Bundle Select Inc. is a licensed real estate broker. California Bureau of Real Estate Broker License Number 004666902.
Welcome back to Real Estate Radio Live. For more information on today's topic or guests, just visit RERadiolive.com. That's RERadiolive.com. Again, your host for today's edition of Real Estate Radio Live, Joe Kuchera.
Welcome back in. Joe Kuchera with Real Estate Radio Live. Our ongoing series, the month of August here, is the future of the real estate industry, and we've been fortunate to have a lot of the executives come in and check in with a lot of different companies. Tim Proschold is here today. He's the Vice President of Group Strategy and Success with the Sereno Group. Kind enough to spend some time talking about the strategies of the industry, his view, his opinion, his philosophy, but also, more importantly as well, what's going on at Sereno Group and the adjustments they're making for the future as well. So let's talk about some of the different models. We hear about them all the time. I mean, I did I stay in touch with Inman too, and I didn't make it to the conference, but I saw a lot of the videos, and it was actually pretty entertaining to see Gary Keller up there doing his shtick and a few other things. It kind of
I was there. I watched it live.
Were you there?
Yeah.
That must have been better live.
It was very interesting to see. So
that was interesting. So you got to give the man credit, man. He is passionate in what he believes in, right? I mean, he is passionate in what he believes in. And we could all debate who has a different model and who thinks what and our different philosophies. But, I have appreciation for people with passion. And he's obviously, he has that for sure. But talk about some of the different models. A lot of people are hearing about, Open Door and iOffer. And then you have Compass coming in that raised, I think it was $500 million. One of their goals and focuses is that I think they want to own 20% of the major markets by 2020. So a lot of different stuff going on. Give us kind of your overview of some of the new companies that are coming in and your thoughts about them.
Well, I think we'll start with Compass. They're kind of the elephant in the room right now. If you go back in, real estate history in the Silicon Valley, there was Realogy that kind of came in. There was something else before, I think Apollo Group and some other private equity kind of came in, purchased a lot of brokerages, and, Coldwell Banker at the time kind of was the brand that they selected for our area here. And I was with Coldwell Banker 2004, 2006 time frame, and we had huge market share in the Valley. But, as some of the leadership of which the owner of our firm, the owners of Intero, as they started peeling off, then that kind of disappeared. And so this kind of feels a little bit like Realogy 2.0, but at the same time, they have a lot of money behind them. And so when you have a lot of money, you can go out there and purchase brokerages, and you can do those types of things out there in the marketplace, which they recently did with Paragon up in San Francisco.
Up in San Francisco.
Yeah, so, and they have a technology platform. They did launch their new sign that they pushed out at Inman. Unfortunately, in our marketplace, that sign I don't think would pass any of the legal rules for signage in our marketplace. So they may be changing some of the rules or lobbying to change the rules on that. But I think, any company that has that type of leverage can go out there and build market share. It's just whether or not that's lasting market share. And I think the history shows that the same people are doing real estate in the Valley that were doing it 30 years ago. They're all just at different companies now. And I think that's, kind of indicative of this Valley a little bit too, with technology companies where you have these companies that you get people together to build something great, and then, they kind of want to do something else, and then they kind of morph around and stuff. So I think that's, what we'll probably see with Compass. I think they'll probably grab market share. They'll probably be doing some good things. I think they're struggling as to whether or not they're a technology firm or a real estate firm because they're also trying to sell their technology to other brokerages as well. But as a technology firm, you get a higher multiple if you're looking for, that type of IPO type thing, going to public markets. So you will see how that kind of plays out. There's the employment model where you have some brokerages that have employees only. And I think one of the things that we've seen in past downturns, at least, is that employment model kind of blows up as their overhead at that point if the sales volume and stuff isn't there. Real estate agents, we work for free until our client gets what they want. And that's one of the things about, I don't think people quite get, especially technology entrepreneurs, is that we do work for free unless, our clients get what they want. And so, having those different models with discount and other things like that, usually when there's a recession of some sort, those kind of get flushed out of the business a little bit. The Zillows of the world, I think, are going to stay there because they are leveraging technology, and they're a broker essentially they're a broker now in Phoenix market, I believe. But they're essentially a broker of advertising. They have a lot of data, a lot of advertising. And much higher margins than real estate brokerages. So I don't think they really want to get into our industry. Everyone's kind of concerned that they will, but I just don't think they want to. Well,
a couple things on that, too. And again, I research and study this stuff every day. So you have, let's take Compass, a lot of money, and you and I would both agree that, with a lot of money you could do a lot of things. However, what are some of the dangers, or there is a danger, right? Automatically, you could certainly take market share, but I think the bigger challenge will be, and talk a little bit about this, if you do get market share, you have to be careful of how to keep people happy once you get them, right? I mean, it's one thing to buy something or someone or a group or bring them over because money does that. We all would admit. However, how challenging is it to you better really take care of the people as well and deliver what you promised?
It's hard as a small, medium-sized, we have 365 agents. It's hard to keep all of our promises, in the marketplace. And as you get bigger, that scale is definitely hard to maintain. And, culture is what our brokerage is founded upon. Let My People Go Surfing is kind of the founding mantra of the firm. We've developed a 1% for Good program, giving back into our local communities, and we're doing things that our agents have asked us to do. And I think once you lose that line of sight from the leadership of the company into the agent that's out there in the field, that becomes a problem because you get siloed and you're not necessarily feeding the needs of all those individuals. And that's a hard thing to feed the needs of so many disparate needs. But if you're out there talking to them, like our CEO is regularly in our office meetings, at all of our office meetings in different markets that we serve. And so real estate has always been a very kind of small business type business, and I think that's why you're seeing these teams develop within these mega brokerages. So you're basically having these small brokerages of teams kind of that are connected, and they're doing the things they need to do, just operating under the bigger brokerage model because of that. Because it really, once you get too far out of it, it makes it difficult to kind of run and have that culture and have that same processes and the same client service, those types of things as well. And when you get too big, the issue that you can have is you can have other areas having service levels that are different than what you're accustomed to giving, and that reflects negatively upon you if somebody has a bad experience in another city under the same brand. Yeah.
I mean, you mentioned a couple of minutes ago, too, and I know you guys monitor this and watch this every day because we all, anytime you're in business, so margins, I mean, we all have to, in business, you have to be careful. Margins, you have to make money. It's great to do wonderful work and do a lot, but we also, all of us are in business to make money. That's part of what we do. So, are some of these temporarily? What do you guys do, or I guess the better question is, do you make any adjustments in how you pay people, how you open offices, how you handle your overhead, or do you stick to your model and just get really good and get better at it?
I think we've tried to stick to our model and get good about it. And we're obviously opening up new offices, and we're taking on some additional expenses with that. But it comes with recruiting of new agents and kind of bringing those people along that really probably would have come over to us to work with us had we had the right office space for them, in that area. So, I think it's definitely a balance and blend on that front. So we'll see.
Yeah. Two things. So if you would, talk a little bit, if you're talking directly to the consumer, whether they're watching the show later or listening to the podcast later, I should say, what would you tell to the consumers? This is why we really like you. You should consider Sereno Group because of, what are the reasons why you guys think Sereno is the best choice for a consumer to work with you and your group?
Yeah, so I think the agents that we have are experienced. They're trained on a regular basis, so we talk openly about what's going on in the marketplace. We've got a spirit of sharing and community kind of within our brokerage. So our agents oftentimes, from our Los Gatos office, if anybody from our Los Altos office comes in and says, hey, I've got a seller, that I'm going on a listing appointment, instead of being kind of weird that they're not getting the listing in Los Gatos, they're actually say, oh, you do? Okay, great. Here's some information. These other homes sold. So I think we're very well kind of tied in, connected, and respected in the industry, and that helps get your offers accepted.
Right.
It also helps with offers that are received on your listing. We have in-house support staff that handle all of our marketing for our sellers and buyers as well. If you are going out there, we have agents that are sending out letters on behalf of buyers in this marketplace, trying to find inventory, trying to find a home for them. Right. So we help them with that and try and making sure that is structured in the right way and looks good out there for our buyer clients too. But I think for our clients out there, we want to just make sure that they know that kind of our key values are honor, integrity, community. So our agents give 1% of their gross commissions back into community-based organizations. So, and it's kind of an ad hoc right now where each of our offices select a local community organization that they want to sponsor for that quarter. And then out of those gross commissions that are collected, 1% goes back into this pile. And it was founded off of Patagonia's 1% for the Planet.
Yeah. No, that's outstanding. And talk a little bit about that because I don't think we do enough as a group. We all could do more for the community and for people. I mean, let's face it, we're all blessed and fortunate to be in an area where, the home prices are expensive, the loans are large, and a lot of this stuff, and we still have to work hard. But however, we can't forget about the community and the people that support us, and we support them. So talk a couple minutes about the 1%. And so when an agent comes to work, they understand that 1% of their gross commissions is going towards this cause, right?
It is an optional check-the-box election for them.
Okay.
Yeah, but
right.
so we don't want to force anybody into that with their business model. And some people have different financial situations, especially as you enter into the business. But I would say we are, I think, about 70% or so of our agents are participating every transaction.
Yeah.
And, some kind of jump in and jump out depending on kind of what's going on. But I think the most important thing is that this idea started in our Santa Cruz offices with a $5,000 donation to search and rescue. So funding those volunteers and making sure that they have the resources and supplies they need. And, it started there, conversation, and it was with the CEO. And so Sereno Group participates in that as well. So if you don't know real estate, agents get paid a certain percentage of the commission that comes into the brokerage, but we take that off the top and we actually participate on the portion with them. So Sereno Group standing side by side with our agents on that front. And I think, that idea then went to another office, and then somebody's like, well, we want to do that. That sounds pretty cool. And so it's grown from a $5,000 donation in 2012 to the search and rescue to, we've supported, I think, over 130 organizations and donated over $2.1 million in the last 6
Congratulations.
6 years. Yeah,
that's something to be proud of.
And it's our agents, and that's the culture part. I think that's the most important, is that we've got agents that do recognize the commitment to the roots of the community, and they're engaged. And I think there was another 5,400 service hours last year amongst our staff and other things like that too. So I think just that connection to the community is the most important thing in real estate, because it is a local business.
Very good. All right, so to the agents, if you could send a message out there, the agents that are watching or listening to the podcast that are out there either working for different firms or thinking, why Sereno Group as an agent? We talked about the consumers, why they would want to use you guys, but as an agent, if they're thinking about looking at different opportunities, what makes Sereno Group different?
Well, we don't have sales awards.
So you don't have sales awards? Okay.
We don't have sales awards. No,
okay.
we part of the founding of the company, we treat everybody that comes into the organization as an equal.
Okay.
So, we have some high-producing agents. We have some agents that don't produce as much, but they give their time and effort to the community. So we look for quality people that match the vibe of connection to the community, responsible real estate practice, ethics, all that kind of stuff is the most important thing to me. And we've had to let some people go. And most brokerages, it's like, I don't want to let somebody go, but there's certain times where things just don't work on that front.
Yeah.
You're not aligned, and we're about alignment. And so we're not going to be for everybody, but at the same time, I think we have some excellent people, camaraderie, our offices, and the people in those offices are top notch.
Yeah. Actually, I heard a line a while back I liked. I think it was you got to be either coaching them up or coaching them out.
Yeah.
Right? That was pretty good. I heard. One way or another. So the models, could or could not change. There's a lot of different startups, a lot of different things going on. Are you guys, you're probably going to give me your poker face, but are you guys in the market as buyers, sellers? Are you going to continue kind of doing what you're doing, or do you entertain or look all the time to potentially buy groups or buy companies, or even, potentially is Sereno Group a group of people that, you might consider some kind of merger acquisition of some sorts?
You never say never in this business.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, I think we are always looking for quality agents. If there was a smaller, kind of brokerage, 10 to 15 people or something like that we could absorb and it made sense to do so, I'm sure that we'd be open to that. If somebody wanted to pay, our CEO, who's the primary owner of the company, but bazillion dollars, I'm sure that he'd probably say okay. But the thing that he wouldn't do, and I know from talking with him in the past, is that he's committed to our people,
right.
And so there'd be a conversation kind of had with our people and just letting them know kind of what's going on if that were to ever come about. So right now, the options on the field they don't really look appealing to us, and we have a really strong niche here in the Silicon Valley.
Yeah, you do.
And we've got a great brand, and recognizable, and we're doing some really, really good things out there, and it just really feels good to do that.
Good.
Continue doing that.
So what's in store for Sereno the rest of the year? You guys have any plans? I know you opened the new office in Los Altos. Very proud about that. Any other plans for anything else coming up this year?
Actually, we transitioned all of our holiday parties into January because everybody was so busy in the December time frame. And we actually just had our mid-year meeting before the golf tournament in mid-July, where we had an excellent sales training speaker come in and talk. And I think, for us, we're continuing to watch the market. We have some new technology launches, that we're kind of of getting in line for our agents right now. So this is our planning time right now. So, August, we just finished Inman. We just finished some other conferences.
Right.
We're kind of talking with vendors and trying to work out how Sereno Group's going to kind of attack 2018 and making sure that our agents are out there for their clients.
Very good. So as we wrap things up, if someone's watching the show, listening to the show later, Tim, they want to know more about Sereno Group, either working for them or work with one of your agents, how do they reach you or how do they contact you?
Well, you can definitely go to our website at serenogroup.com. Okay. There's information there about our 1% for Good program, all of our agents and other things like that on there as well. You can email me directly at tproschold, TPROSCHOLD, at serenogroup.com, or call me, and my number's on the website if you need to get in touch with me. And, I think you can talk to any of our leadership, Chris, Ryan, anybody is out there available to talk to you, or just talk with one of our agents, and then you'll get the vibe. And some of the recruiting we do is just say, go talk to one of our agents. And sometimes
I think that's the best recruiting. I agree with you.
Yeah,
because we all could do our best job of recruiting, but I think that's well said. I think go talk to someone that's doing it, that's here working, right? I mean, that's a good point.
Go talk to our staff.
Yeah, there you go.
And our staff, are exceptional, and they make the company run. And we have we just have some really good staff and employees in our marketing studios. Some excellent graphic designers. We just have some really good people, and I think it just feels good to be in that type of environment.
Yeah, very good. Well, thanks for your time today, and thanks for all your information. Appreciate it very much. This is Joe Kuchera at the Real Estate Radio Live. Thank you very much for showing today and showing up to watch the show. Hope you have a lot of enjoyed it. Later on, again, be sure to download the podcast. You can do that by going to RERadiolive.com. Until next time, take care.
You've been listening to Real Estate Radio Live. For more information on today's program, visit RERadiolive.com. That's RERadiolive.com. Subscribe to our podcast. Discover more at RERadiolive.com.